Let's get into your thought process on like the whole restructure. Like I said, to you, I will have placed your little TikTok at the beginning of this video, so people will have seen what you've said. But like, break it down for me. What's your thoughts on it? What was it that you said?
So league reconstruction is at the top of a lot of fans' wish list because it's repetitive and it's boring. Let's be honest, playing the same team 4 times a season. Even to an extent, having 4 Old Firm games, especially when it's actually 5 or 6 when you include the cups. How do we make Scottish football less repetitive and boring? Well, expanding the league. And this is, I think over 80% of fans, I think 83%. The last time this was properly polled, 83% of fans wanted a bigger top flight.
Yeah, I wrote it down. You're right. I think it was 81%. I wrote it down. Yeah.
So, well, guess what? Fans should be consulted and their thoughts should be considered and taken into account because football without fans is nothing.
We've seen that in COVID.
Yeah, and without fans, I mean, well, if you continue to ignore fans, then it's not going to end particularly well. And so, at least get those kind of ideas onto the table in terms of how it could look. For me, moving to something like an 18 or 20 league top flight is too much. I think you're going to dilute the league too much by weaker teams, and even 16 teams is arguably too many. So what's the realistic option? I mean, for me, it was 14 teams. So adding 2 more into the top flight. This, I thought, could have good traction because it's evolution, not revolution. And we all know that the people who have to vote these things through are not going to completely rip things up. Like, my thinking was they might be open to a tweak, basically. So, framing it as a kind of gentle progression to 14 and then see how we go. But in terms of like how it actually broke down or what I was proposing, it was basically you'd play each other twice, and that would be a total of 26 games. And then you'd split into a top 6 and then a bottom 8 and play each other twice more. So that effectively keeps your 4 Old Firm games that the broadcasters typically want. You could also add in extra playoff games between whoever finishes top of that bottom section. You could have them playing off against whoever finishes 4th or 5th overall for that last European spot. That again adds more drama, more jeopardy. People love these playoff games. You can also add in more relegation places to increase the flow between the leagues. And also, I would replicate it all up and down the leagues. I would actually go for 3 divisions of 14, 14, 14, rather than the current 12, 10, 10, 10, all the way down. And that actually keeps the same amount of teams, 42 overall. So that's what I was kind of proposing. And listen, I was absolutely delighted the video was really, was well watched. And I don't care that people disagreed, and I got comments being like, no, you need 16, you need this. I was like, brilliant, like bring it on, because this is why I set up the podcast. It's like, let's get this fucking conversation out there, because everyone cares about it and everyone wants to talk about it, and no one was talking about it. And that's why I set up the podcast in the first place. I was like, I was waiting for like BBC or STV or whoever to start having these conversations. Like, let's talk about league reconstruction. Let's talk about player pathways. And no one was kind of filling that void. So I'm honestly delighted that like so many people responded to it positively or negatively. And that video also led to the SPFL having those league reconstruction talks. So it had a direct effect, i.e. Neil Doncaster had to sit down with all the fucking clubs in Scotland to debate whether we'd go to a 14-team league. So that was actually quite nice. Like, it didn't go anywhere, right? But like, again, they sat around the table and talked about it. And that is progress, at least, because they wouldn't have done so otherwise. So
what do you like? Why do you think that they didn't go for it or won't go for it?
Because of the 11-to-1 voting system. that's in place in Scotland. So to get any major change through in Scotland, like league reconstruction, 11 of the 12 clubs have to vote for it, which is an impossibly high bar to clear, because you basically, usually Celtic and Rangers will veto anything that's not in their interest.
Of course.
And for so many clubs, it's like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's the attitude that there's always been in Scottish football. You know, it's fine. It's working okay. Let's just keep it as it is. Let's not worry about upsetting Sky or opening up these conversations, because what happens if Sky withdraws their TV deal or something like that? Because they're all scarred from Setanta, you know, a couple of decades ago. And it's really fragile, that kind of TV media landscape. So they don't want to upset Sky. And I can understand that. And I can totally understand the whole playing it safe thing. But what you fail to see is the fact that actually there could be an even better option out there as well. And you know what? If you change it to a 14-team league, or you do vote something through, do you know what? If it doesn't work, just change it back.
You said Belgium did that.
Yeah, they change their league every couple of years,
Yeah.
like Belgium, constantly trying to get the best thing that works for them. What's the most exciting way of doing it? And honestly, like, as long as Sky give it the okay, then just go for it. And do you know what? After a year or two, if it's not quite working, then that's fine. Just revert back. But honestly, I think what I was putting forward would be an improvement.
Yep.
And we'll see. You know, maybe next time they sit down around the table in a year or two, maybe they're more ready to vote positively on it.